Welcome to the August the 27th, 2002 taping of It Happened in Grand Prairie. As we bring you the history of our city and some of the people that have made that history happen and some that are even continuing to make history happen even this very day. And we are so honored today for our history tape number 464 to have a very special gentleman, the Honorable Ken Mayfield, Commissioner, District 4 of Dallas County. Welcome back to the set.
Thank you, Ruthie. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, we're just delighted. We're excited about why we have you back again, not even at election time, not even, and you're real special because something special has happened to you since the last time we interviewed you. And you have now become very famous nationwide. So open the door and tell us about the new Ken Mayfield and all of the illustrious title that you hold in the National Association of Counties.
Well, thank you, Ruthie. You're very kind. And on July the 16th, I became president of the National Association of Counties. And
that was in New Orleans?
That was in New Orleans.
Okay.
We had a great time, a great installation as the president. We had a good party, a Texas party. We had duck soup out of Austin come and play for everyone all over the United States there in New Orleans, and it was a wonderful time.
Oh, that is really great. Now, this is a very, very distinct honor to have someone from Texas be elected to this position as president of this association. That only happened one other time way back sort of in the dark ages when Roy Orr was our county commissioner. And even Roy is excited about this. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's great. Roy and I made history. Never before in the history of NACO, and they go back to the 40s, has two people from the same state, from the same county, from the same commissioner's district been president of the National Association of Counties. Roy was president back during the Reagan administration from 1980 to 1981. And now I've become president, and of course Roy is a predecessor of mine in District 4 in Dallas County.
Yes.
He's a former commissioner from the seat that I hold now. So we made some history in New Orleans on July the 16th.
You really did. And we do have a boulevard here in Grand Prairie named the Roy Orr Boulevard. We also have a street or a road here in Grand Prairie named the Mayfield Road. So we're batting 1,000, aren't we? Aren't we doing good in Grand Prairie?
Absolutely, absolutely. But I don't think that Mayfield was named after me, as Roy can use. But yeah, that's true. Matter of fact,
if we put a Ken in front of that on that Mayfield Road, if you do a good job and really hustle for us, who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of the city council members that we may want to add a Ken in front of that.
Well, you all honored me with the Ken Mayfield Day in Grand Prairie just a week or so ago, and I'm very, very grateful for that. If somebody wants to do that, that's fine. I just hope to do a good job for the citizens of Grand Prairie as for all the citizens in District 4 in Dallas County.
Well, that was one of the things that brought on this interview when we had the proclamation read and presented by the mayor and all of this good stuff. They didn't tell this whole story, see? They didn't tell that you all made history in New Orleans. Then they didn't tell about Roy Orr being in that chair before you were, and all of the good things that happened. So I thought you just were due an extra 30 minutes to tell our story, don't you think?
Well, thank you. You wanted to set the record straight. Yeah, that's great. I really appreciate I love to do your show, and I appreciate you having me on.
Now, when you were elected Dallas County Commissioner, what year was that?
I was elected in 1994 to take office January of 1995.
95 was the magic year when you took the chair and you became responsible for everything in District 4. Have your boundaries in District 4 changed any since you came on in 94?
Well, yes, they have. They've changed fairly dramatically. Of course, every census, every 10 years, everybody has to look, all those governmental bodies and jurisdictions have to look and see what the population shows, and if the districts, in our case, commissioners' districts, are out of balance, if they're more than 10% difference between the highest populated district and the lowest populated district, and we were. So we had to go through the redistricting process. My district was comprised of Wilmer and Glen Heights and Lancaster and DeSoto and Cedar Hill, Duncanville, Cockrell Hill, parts of the city of Dallas, and part of the city of Irving, about actually 2/3 to 3/4 of the city of Irving. Now, since we've changed, I no longer represent the citizens in Wilmer or Glen Heights or DeSoto or Lancaster.
That's been pulled into another district.
That's
then.
in Commissioners District 3 now.
Okay.
And I've picked up, I've also given up some precincts in the city of Dallas, but I've gained others. And my new territory is I now represent all of the citizens of Irving and all of the citizens of Coppell.
All right.
So my district is basically the western quarter of Dallas County from the north all the way to the south.
Including Cedar Hill and Grand Prairie and just kind of around the corner.
Duncanville.
Yeah.
I still have Duncanville. I still have Cedar Hill. I still have Cockrell Hill. I still have Grand Prairie, all of the Grand Prairie that's in Dallas County, because you know some of Grand Prairie is in Tarrant County.
Yes.
And then Coppell. And I also have a little bit of the city of Louisville, but there's really no population there. There's businesses that are located there in Dallas County.
But people that are hustling roads.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And streets and things from Dallas County. What all do you do for Dallas County as our county commissioner?
Well, we have basically, it can be divided into a couple of different areas. One, we set policy for all of the workers of Dallas County, for all of the employees in Dallas County. And we set the budget for all of the elected officials in Dallas County. The sheriff, who's elected countywide, the district attorney, who's elected countywide, the judges, the county court at law judges, the county criminal court judges, all your constables, all your justices of the peace, tax assessor, collector, and treasurer, and so forth. We set, and of course, county government basically operates the criminal justice, the civil justice, and the juvenile justice systems in Dallas County. We also oversee Parkland Hospital.
And you have a meeting with them probably right after this interview.
That's exactly right.
You're busy.
That's exactly right. We do. This is budget time.
Yes.
We just set our tax rate. We did not increase our tax rate. It was 19.6 cents last fiscal year, and it's the same 19.6 cents this fiscal year. And we've been able to do that for the last couple of years, not have to raise the tax rate, but still give what I feel are good quality services to the citizens of Dallas County.
Now, all of the things that you have mentioned, that means that the Dallas County Court, comprised of a judge and 4 county commissioners, y'all are the one that sets the policies.
That's correct.
All righty.
That's correct.
And then, of course, you have staff that does all of these things. Like Mr. Lossberg helps us with beautification.
That's right.
And
Open
Alan
space,
Clemson
parks.
helps me with lots of things when we call on him.
Alan Clemson is our court administrator. He reports directly to Commissioner's Court. We hire him, and he oversees all of the departments and all of the staff that report directly to Commissioner's Court. Plus, he's a liaison with those other elected officials as well, and their departments.
Now, your duties, just for District 4, do they differ from District 1, 2, and 3, the other county commissioners? I know they have certain territories and everything, but do you all do about the same thing?
We do. We do about the same thing. We may do things a little differently. For instance, I take out prisoners from the state jail facility in Hutchins, Texas. Hutchins is not in my district, but it just so happened when I took office in 1995, I saw these minimum security prisoners there, and being a believer that once you violate the law and you harm somebody or take somebody's property, you ought to give back to the public as well. So I take out prisoners Monday through Thursday, 10 hours a day, and we work them in my district. We help cities, we help school districts, we've cleaned up parks, we've cleaned up. And well, in Grand Prairie, you had a big push on
Yes.
taking a lot of tires.
Tires out of
Yeah,
here,
and
yes.
that was, gave you some dump trucks and some prisoners and people to help clean up that area as well. So we do that. Nobody else has that.
So that's how
particular
yours
program.
differs a little bit, but all of the different ones have bridges, roads, and other responsibilities.
That's right. We have our own funds to fund and plan transportation projects within our district, and then to work with cities who are in our districts to help them fund and plan and construct certain transportation projects as
Now,
well.
within the city of Grand Prairie, and of course like all of the cities in Dallas County, there are certain territories that are not incorporated in our city and belong apparently to the county, like some orphan roads and some areas where we have illegal dumping in the county.
Right.
How do y'all do that?
Well, that is our direct jurisdiction if they are not within the city limits of an incorporated city.
They belong to you.
In Dallas County. Those are areas that we belong. When I changed my district, most of my unincorporated area was in the eastern part of my district, around
Okay.
Wilmer, around Lancaster, around DeSoto. I do have some in Grand Prairie. And Jefferson Street was an orphan road,
Yes,
as
it was.
you term it. But we have reached agreement with the city of Dallas that has part of Jefferson, and the city of Grand Prairie that has the other part, and they have taken over that road. We did some work on it and are also contributing some funds towards the reconstruction of Jefferson. But now that's under the jurisdiction of Grand Prairie for their portion and the city of Dallas for their portion.
I understand one orphan road may be adopted by a couple of cities and turned over, and that's Hunter Farrell that's on the north side of the racetrack.
Right.
I think that coming down the pike in the next 5 years, we may straighten out the curve in Hunter Farrell and,
That's right.
and everybody take their side and not put the middle of the road is Dallas County, and both bar ditches belong to two cities.
That's what we're working towards. And of course, I have put together some transportation task forces to make sure that transportation projects move along as rapidly as possible. And one of them that's of particular interest to the citizens in Grand Prairie is the Beltline Pass project,
Yes.
which is just north of the racetrack.
Yes.
It goes in between Irving. It goes from Irving to Grand Prairie. Back and forth, and both the officials from Irving and the officials from Grand Prairie and my office and Dallas County Public Works are working. We've kind of split that project into two portions, one the Grand Prairie side, and we're putting emphasis on that right now because the Breeders' Cup,
Breeders' Cup
is coming to Lone Star Park.
2004.
That's right.
Yes.
And so we want to make sure that Beltline Road is widened and constructed there in time for the Breeders' Cup to help the movement of traffic around the racetrack.
All right, now, what do you do for fun? I know that the county, the National Counties Project takes a lot of your time, but I call over to your office and I talk to Marilyn Little, I talk to Teresa and Linda and Midge Austin and all of these people, and they say, we can't keep up with Mr. Ken Mayfield, his honor. And when do you all meet at Dallas County Court?
Well, we meet every Tuesday. Every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday of the
Commissioners
world.
Court meets, yes, every Tuesday, every week, generally. Although when I was installed as the president of NACO in New Orleans, we didn't meet that week. That
They
was a
let
Tuesday.
y'all have a week off?
That's right. We took a week off so some of us could attend down there.
Yes.
But I try to make every one of those meetings. And yes, I'm busy. I also chair a statewide transportation coalition.
Oh, you do?
That's called TEX 21. And it was
Okay.
formed by cities and counties and businesses and chambers of commerce all over the state of Texas to bring the issue of transportation to a higher level at the state government, because transportation really affects all of us in our daily lives.
Oh, yes.
And it can affect your disposition, if you're stuck in traffic and going to a meeting, if you have to cool your heels in your automobile, plus it pollutes the air, and we're in a non-compliance area in Dallas County, Dallas Metroplex area is in non-compliance with the EPA on the air quality standard, and we've submitted our plan, and hopefully that's going to clean the air, or certainly not let it get any
Help
worse.
clean it.
Yeah, help clean it.
Yes.
And so we're trying to get more dollars spent for transportation projects. Right now, only 40% of the needed projects in the state of Texas are able to be funded by the Texas Department of Transportation. We're leaving dollars at the federal level. When the citizens of Texas pay gasoline taxes, which they do for every gallon of gas that they purchase, well, we send it to Washington, and we're supposed to be guaranteed 92.5 cents back for every dollar that we send. It used to be, and that was just 7 years ago, we were only getting, there was no guarantee, and we were only getting about 83 or 84 cents back for every dollar we spent. We're called a donor state.
Yes.
And now when the transportation bill was called ICE-T, that was reauthorized to T21, which we're under right now. And T21 is about to be reauthorized into a different name, probably T3 or something along those lines. Next year, that transportation bill in Washington, D.C. Will be passed. And so not only from NACO, but from Dallas County, from Tex 21, we're working to see that the monies are available and the reauthorization are beneficial to the citizens of Texas. We'd like to get, ideally, for every dollar we send to Washington, we'd like to get a dollar back, because our transportation system has suffered. We're a big state. We rely on people in their automobiles to get across this state, although in Dallas County, with DART, we're doing a lot of things with light rail, and I support that. But we need a lot more dollars back. Some states in the East, mostly, for every dollar they send in, a lot of times they get $1.25 or $1.50 or $2 back. Yeah, because states out west and in the Midwest are not getting the funds back from their monies they send in.
Before you became a county commissioner, in your other life, what did you do for a living?
Well, I'm a lawyer, and I graduated from St. Mary's Law School in 1980. I went to work for the District Attorney's Office in Dallas County from October, I believe it was November the 15th of 1980 until June the 1st of 1988. Then I went into private practice. I got an offer to go into private practice, which I did, and I was elected to the school board in Cedar Hill, which is, I live in the city of Cedar Hill, have since 1986.
That's where you got the disease.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where I got the disease.
Yes, it just gets like that, and we just love for it to carry it on and carry it on, don't we? Or what are you going to do with the next part of your life if you ever leave the county commissioner's court, or are you going to stay forever like Roy Orr did?
Well, I don't expect to stay forever, obviously, but I really enjoy what I'm doing right now. I have an impact not only in my district, which I told you about, not only in Dallas County, not only regionally. I sit on the Regional Transportation Council, but statewide with Tex 21 on transportation as well as other issues. I frequently go down to Austin we have our own Dallas County legislative package that we try to get passed that lessens the burden on the citizens of Dallas County for some funds and operations, but nationally with the National Association of Counties. And
you have a broader scope.
I'm going to stick to the formula that got me to where I am right now. And that's, people asked me to run for the school board. There was an issue that came up in the Cedar Hill schools that affected my daughter, and I went and spoke before them. And then people asked me after I spoke to run for the school board.
You did.
And I looked at it and decided I would, and I did. And then some people came and asked me to run for county commissioner.
And you did.
And I did, and I was able. And then people came to me in Portland, Oregon in 1998 and asked me to run for second vice president of the National Association. That's the entry level.
Yes.
And every county that's a member of the National Association of Counties gets to vote for second vice president.
So you had to be approved by the whole United States.
About 2,040 counties. There are 3,067 counties in the United States, and 2,040 of them belong to the National Association of Counties. So each one of those had a vote or votes, and anybody can run. And people came and asked me to run, and actually I would have, left to my own devices, I would have never run for second vice president of NACO, because I was just kind of too busy doing things, and they wanted me to do it. I did, and I was fortunate enough to win, and so.
Most recently, Mr. Tovar is in the control room, and we have a few pictures that we took at a very exciting party that happened at Lone Star Park.
Yeah.
We begged our way in, and Marilyn let us in, and we took some photographs. And with your permission, we'd like to kind of show and tell those.
Surely.
Louis, do you have those? Now, those are 4 real important guys. Would you like to name them so that everyone in our audience will know?
Sure. On the right, as I'm looking at it, was Sheriff Bowles, Jim Bowles. Next to him is Judge John Payton. He's a county court at law judge in Dallas County. That's yours truly, there next to Judge Payton. And then my colleague, Commissioner Jim Jackson, who is standing on the left of the photo.
Yes. And the next one, Mr. Tovar, thank you.
Well, that's Roy Orr standing next to me. And Roy and I have collaborated a great deal on this NACO business. Roy is still active in the National Association of Counties. He comes when they have past presidents' dinners, and he goes to all of our conferences and participates. So Roy has been a big help to me.
He's a very fine man.
He certainly is.
Very fine man. And finally, the last one that we have, now
Well,
that's your immediate family.
That's my wife, yes, on the far right of the picture there as I'm looking at it, and my daughter, Lindsay. And I've got another daughter that's not there, that's Kelsey.
Kelsey didn't get to come to the party that day,
She didn't get to come
she?
to the party, no, she didn't.
Yes.
She was, I believe, at cheerleading camp.
Yes.
And so she was fulfilling
Tell us where
her duties.
Lindsay is now.
Lindsay is at the University of Missouri. She's in her 2nd year. She wants to be a broadcast journalist.
That's great.
Another Katie Couric.
Yes.
It's a tough field, but she's pretty driven. We'll see what happens.
And now, how about Kelsey?
Kelsey is a senior at Cedar Hill High School. She's a cheerleader, has been since the 7th grade. And as a matter of fact, I was telling you earlier, the squad that she's on, a competitive squad from Cedar Hill, won the national championships, the Americheer National Championships in Walt Disney World last year.
Yes.
So
they're already famous.
She's an All-American cheerleader. She wants to go to the University of Texas, not to cheer, but to get an education. But she also wants to try out and try to become a cheerleader.
Yeah, secondary to it.
Right.
Okay. That is such a splendid family, and I know you're just so proud of them. Is there anything you'd like to say to Grand Prairie before we end this interview? I think we have about 1.5 minutes or so left. Louis is going to tell us. We have 6 minutes left. You've got a lot of time to preach.
6 minutes left. How about
Yeah.
that? Well, I would like to say a big thank you to the citizens of Grand Prairie for electing me in 1994, re-electing me in 1998, and actually I am up for re-election this year.
That's all right.
and hopefully they'll see fit to return me as a commissioner again. Of course, if I lose, I can't fulfill my duties as the president of the National Association of Counties. That would end in January. But yeah, I think I get strength from public service. I really do. I like to be busy. I don't like to just be busy going to meetings. I like to get things accomplished. And so, if I can make a difference in transportation, in health care, in the criminal or civil or juvenile justice systems, or any other thing that I can do, and get things accomplished that make it better for the citizens of Grand Prairie and the citizens of Dallas County, and the state of Texas, and perhaps the nation, then I'm happy.
As a successful attorney, a successful school board member, a successful politician, and all of those rolled into one, who has been the motivating mentor to you to succeed? Could you name one or two professors or a family or someone that really did send you off to a charge and say, you can do it if you'll just get with it?
Well, my father and my mother, I would have to put them as the
Head
motivating.
of the list.
Yeah, my dad died in 1980, so I really missed out on after I graduated from high school and went to college, from having the good interaction that we could have. But he instilled, I think, a good work ethic. He always told me, my dad always said, aim for the top. It's less crowded up there. So
that's good.
And I always worked during the summers. I graduated from Boyd High School, which is a small town in Wise County. After I was born in Okinawa, Kadena Air Force Base, Okinawa. Lived all over the United States when I was younger, and then my dad retired from the Air Force in Boyd, And so I always worked during the summers hauling cantaloupes, hauling watermelon, hauling hay, doing manual labor, working on at Austin Bridge Company, constructing an overpass. And I knew from that I really didn't want to spend the rest of my life doing manual labor.
Doing bridges.
That's right. And so education was an avenue to bridge that. And so
who's the most important teacher or professor that influenced your life?
You know, somebody else has asked me that, and I really
can't pinpoint it to
can't
that?
come up. I guess if I had to pick one person, it'd probably be Alan Sachs, who is at the University of Texas at Arlington, where I got my undergraduate degree. I had political science was my major, and I used to go to Alan's home, and he used to have all the students or those in his class come out there and sort of talk about politics, the races that were ongoing at that particular time, and sort of analyze the things. And that's probably where I got the bug. To become a lawyer, I got the bug in the Army. I spent 3 years in the Army, was stationed at the Pentagon, and I went to the University of Maryland while I was there and took a criminal law class. And the professor there encouraged me to try to go to law school once I got my degree. So I don't remember that professor's name, unfortunately.
But you put all of those together, and it's helped you to really realize that you have been quite a success as far as setting your goals and meeting your goals.
Well, I've been fortunate, and I think it's come about with some luck and with some hard work, and so I hope to continue in that same
Well, you have a
vein.
very exciting seat on the Dallas County Commissioner's Court, because you sit next to John Wiley Price, who is my very good friend. And I have a documentary that was made at your county court year before last, when I got the first kudo from John Wiley Price in all of the years that I had appeared before you all with beautification and et cetera. And so I have that on tape. And, but John Wiley is a very special young man.
Well, Commissioner Price came to New Orleans.
Did he really?
He flew down there to speak on my behalf before I was sworn in. And of course, we've had some publicized confrontations.
Finger pointings at each other,
in the past, but when it comes to business, you know, I like John right there.
He gets right down to it.
That's right, and I was very honored for him to come and speak on my behalf as I was sworn in as president of the National Association of Counties.
We have only 1 minute left, and I know you all have appointed an interim county judge.
Margaret Kelleher.
Yes.
We did that today.
You just did that today. That's already come down the pike, see?
That's right. That's right. She's a former state district judge, elected in Dallas County, ran for county judge on a Republican ticket when Lee Jackson decided not to seek another term. And
are you going to miss Lee Jackson?
Oh, certainly. Well, how can you not miss
he had
somebody
been there
like Lee?
For so long, hadn't he?
16 years. Yeah,
16
years. Almost 16 years, anyway.
Well, I want to thank you so very much for
give
us an update, and to congratulate you one more time for the National Association of Counties. Because I think that's a mark of distinction, and we're very, very proud of you in Grand Prairie, Texas, and I hope you'll always succeed at something like that, and our best to you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And this is Ruthie Jackson reminding you that history is as we live and do.